Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to what is another edition here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show, coming to you live from the Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. And Mikey V does not have that sphere back there for no reason. We are live in Las Vegas. Heck of a trip. Heck of a trip.
Yeah, great trip. Some would say what trips are made of. Dreams are made of.
Yes.
A lot of hype coming. Oh, by the way, my headset. I'm not making fun of your set, but your
What
headset,
in
Mikey.
God's name?
It's like an old controller. I just can't unravel this. So it just I bought the wrong ones. I got new ones that were fine, and I got the old ones. And for those watching on YouTube, you can see how ridiculous this is. For those of you not watching on YouTube, I highly recommend you watch on YouTube because we look fucking ridiculous right now.
How is this mic? Can you guys hear me on this mic? Is that good?
Okay.
You look like Bob Barker on The Price is Right with that
microphone. Come on down. I miss the game show era. Game show era, very underrated. You know, Price is Right, the old one. Family Feud, the old ones with like Richard Dawson.
Wheel of Fortune
Card
back in
Sharks.
the day.
Yeah. I miss
Jeopardy with Alex Trebek.
Yeah. I missed the game show era. That was a good era.
The Price is Right when you skip school, when you miss school. That was always on when you miss school.
Price is Right, Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer was like a 2:00 afternoon showtime.
And then when you stayed up late on sleepovers, when Girls Gone Wild came on, when you didn't fall asleep, or
that
if you
was
woke
like
up.
another era. That was like a whole nother era. All like
that was like the MTV
Wild, like Jerry
generational.
Springer, Uncensored, Girls Gone Wild. All of that was like another era. There were a lot of good eras. I'm not so sure we're in a great era right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Michael, don't say that.
Yeah, I think everybody says, like, I think people will look back on our technology and stuff and say, wow, that was really cool. But everybody says that their era's the worst. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Do you think so? I don't think Sinatra and them were saying their era was the worst. I think they're enjoying it.
No.
Quite a lot, may I add.
Musically, our era was without a doubt. Musically, we got shafted, I think.
Yeah. Not growing up. Not growing up.
Well, your guys' era is a little bit different. You guys hit some tunes that I didn't have. Now it's worse than ever.
The teen boy band era was great, like the teeny bop, like Britney Spears, Usher, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, like just tremendous stuff. Michael, you're shaking your head, but like I'm sure you've listened to plenty of songs from those groups.
I mean, I was never really into the boy bands, Joseph. I was never.
He loved it. Cutsy loved it, like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
I mean, listen, they were always on, like at every like social mixer dance at school. That was all they would play. But I mean, like it wasn't really, you know. I liked like the rap early in that era. I liked Juvenile and like the Hot Boys and like all of that, like Big Timers. I thought that was really good. Biggie, obviously, and Tupac and stuff, but like I didn't mind that era at all. Like I thought the music was pretty good growing up, and then it's just declined so significantly. I think it's just everyone. I feel like this era really vehemently argues against that. But I mean, if you look back, I mean, listen, we saw a band Friday night that's been doing it for 50 years, dog, or 40 years, however long the Eagles have been doing it. You tell them, Bob. A lot of people questioning if Bob was going to enjoy it. Go ahead.
Were they questioning if I was going or not?
I think they were. Yes.
To be honest with you, I didn't know how much. I like the Eagles. It's amazing how many hits that they have, but I liked it. I mean, if you do it the right way, especially at the Sphere, there's a lot coming at you, and I think we had a ball. It really was. It was a blast. They got bangers.
The Sphere was. The Sphere is indescribable, and pictures and videos just don't do it justice. You have, if you have the chance to go, you have to go. You have to go. I don't care what you see there. You could watch reruns of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse in the Sphere, and you'd probably enjoy it because it's that stunning visually, and the audio in there and everything is just so over the top. It's just an experience. I wouldn't even call what we saw Friday a concert really, because the stage is so minimal. It's just like a platform that they're standing on. It has nothing to do with
you're barely looking at it the whole time.
It's just the visuals are just they're beyond like normal comprehension. It's just crazy.
They had Joel Walsh like illuminated through space, playing his guitar. Like, you don't need to look at the stage. There's no need to look at the stage because you have it in like a 50-foot version in front of your face.
Mike,
Which
you
makes
And
it
everyone
great because
look,
there's
it's
not a bad
crazy.
seat in the house, really.
you take that Fiji water from the mini bar, they're gonna smoke you for that. Man.
Oh,
They're
wait,
gonna
we got a mini bar?
yeah, check
That's a
right under
write-off,
that
Bob.
TV, D.
Thank
Right under, they're gonna smoke you. I got into the Snickers too.
Listen,
God I didn't know we had one.
now
desperate
you
times,
do.
yeah, under the TV, Joe.
Yeah, it's some fun snacks down there too. They kind of got like the movie theater snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's a fun
my
one. You know the thing
God.
with the concert that I can really appreciate? First off, staying at the Venetian, you just walk across to the hotel, which is awesome. As jam-packed as it was, it is nice to not have to worry about Ubers or anything like that. But like the concert was 2 hours. What a great number for like a 2 hour concert was perfect. Yeah, I mean,
And they didn't have anyone opening for them. They just went straight on.
yeah.
I love that. And another thing that I'm going to save it, what I'm going to say, because it's going to be my buy, but the nobody opening for them and the format of the concert, which I'll get into on my buy, but being able to go from like the dinner in everything is so centralized in Vegas if you do it the right way. Like we were able to go to a restaurant in Venetian, a nice place before the concert, watch the Yankee game, walk right over. Yankee game ends right before the Eagles go on stage. Yankees get the last out, which was very special. And then right into the concert. It was just it's just very, the more centralized, it's just great. You don't have to take cab rides anywhere. We didn't have to like schlep. We didn't have to walk. It was really, really a perfect setup. It really was.
You know, Joey D got us set up with the Cabana, and we were having a ball in there. And we were having drinks in there, whatnot. And then we realized at some point that it was on the last episode that we were bashing Cabanas about how Cabanas are overrated, and we didn't realize we were having a ball. So anything that we said about Cabanas, I think we kind of take back.
Yeah, I love Cabanas.
Love Cabanas.
Who was bashing Cabanas?
We were bashing Cabana. We tend to do that a lot where we'll bash something. And Joey D today walked out of NASCAR with the upside down hat that he sold a few weeks ago on the show. We always
The hat was a gift, Bob.
well, see, but there you
Well,
go.
What am I not gonna accept a nice gift?
Well, they weren't giving out the gifts. We decided to take the hats. I mean, the hats were just laid out. You didn't have to take the hats. All I'm saying is we're grouping ourselves in. We're not pointing you out, Joe. We're just saying as a group, we tend to do that where we'll bash something, turn around, and then be fine on that.
Yeah, some people may call that hypocritical. Some may call it, but I call it progress, progress and change. I feel like we're ever evolving. That's what I would call it. I would pretzel it that way. I would say
that's a pretzel. That's a pretzel.
Okay, that's fine. I would say it's not hypocrisy. I would say we progress and we think about what we said, and maybe we made some wrong choices. The Cabana is actually a great play. If you get the Cabana at the right price, it's
anything at the right price is a good play.
That's correct,
Joe. That's the face that was made when you had that golf shot on the sphere, Mikey. For people watching on YouTube, it's gonna be so hard for them to watch because the sphere keeps changing into different things as you're talking, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's pretty enticing. But
I thought it was a great little backdrop.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I think
it's like he's following along with the podcast.
Yeah.
He looks bewildered now.
I told you guys when I went to the Sphere for the UFC, we sat right by the Dolans, and you could see the Dolans when they came in. They sat down and they each kind of like patted each other on the back when they looked at the Sphere because they knew how good of a job that they did. So as much as they get bashed for the Knicks fans hate them. They did give us the Sphere. They do have Madison Square Garden. So at some point you got to tip the cap to the Dolans.
There's one thing about the Sphere though. I gotta point out the flaw when I see a flaw.
Tell them.
The exit strategy out of this Sphere, it was like walking through quicksand. You couldn't move. They didn't have enough space, enough exit ways for people to leave. It was one of the most crowded, most disorganized exits I've ever experienced. And by that time, after a concert, you've given everything you had. We had nothing left. I felt like I was sleepwalking just through people. Like we were. Did it not feel like it took forever to get out of there, Mikey?
Yeah, no, they it was kind of like herding cattle at that point.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I will say this though, I'd much rather be in the situation we were in than having to like get a cab, because we were looking outside at the traffic and it was insane, the traffic to get out of there. Like car traffic, vehicle traffic was just, that would have been a worse nightmare. But yeah, the exit strategy is a little tough. Like the walkway back to the hotel was just completely wall to wall. Just
Well, like God forbid there's a natural disaster or something happens, all those people. I mean, that's gonna be a nightmare.
That would be a fire hazard, Joe. It might not be up to code.
I guess I take it back.
I'd
I
look
guess
into
bad
that.
on the Dolans.
Maybe Dolan's got to do some more thinking there, kind of like with the Knicks.
I'd be curious to see. I mean, when you go to like one of these Fish concerts where all these people are all hopped up on all types of shit, like the Fish played like back to back nights, I'd be wildly curious. As much as I'm not a huge Fish guy, I don't know too much about them. To see what one of those car, like a Grateful Dead concert in there, is going to be nuts. Oh my god!
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty friggin' steep too. Like when you're at the top walking down,
Oh my.
like it's a steep walkway down. Like there were some older people walking. I was like, if someone takes a stumble here, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, we never even I wouldn't mind like a vendor or something moving around the place for some beers or something. You couldn't really, there was never a time where we could get up to get a drink because you don't want to miss anything.
One guy did get up and it completely
Yes.
set us off. And I was like, yo, this guy's going to get a beer right now. Like I would imagine it actually hinders or it's probably going to affect concession sales, because there's no way that you can get up, especially the way the seating is it's these long rows. If you're in the middle, you got to go through everybody. So like concession sales, I don't know how they're doing it.
When we sat down, I made a conscientious decision looking at the seating arrangement. I was like, all right, Mike, once you sit here, you're not getting up again, because it's just going to be a total nightmare to get up, get down, get something and come back. And people are just going to get like a little agitated, because it is like it's tight maneuvering in there. It is. They got you packed in there pretty good, but the good outweighed the bad. Certainly, I would say the good outweighed the bad.
Been a great trip, and we knew. I mean, we were looking forward to Golden Steer.
Oh man.
Wow, what a special
Shout out Mark
place.
Stone.
Yeah, Mark Stone really taking care of the boys. I mean, that was I don't think I can't tell you the last time I had a twice baked potato, but boy, do they do that. Oh my sweet Lanta.
I mean, we did it right too. I think we knew that, you don't go there very often to a place like that. You don't have an opportunity to go to a spot like that very often. So when you have a circumstance like that arises, we kind of knew that we were going to just take full advantage and just go all out. The platter that we got, I post on my Instagram.
Oh my.
It was, I mean, one of the most succulent, one of the most unbelievably crafted, like it was like a whole, I don't even know how you, like a wooden board just filled with like gifts of just great distinguished fucking allure. It was unbelievable. The Australian, Michael, the Australian lobster tail was bigger than your head. It was fucking massive. And then Bob and as we were eating king crab claws that were fit for a kid. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and the Caesar, Bob.
Caesar was amazing.
Caesar
was amazing.
Really good, man.
I will
That's
say,
like what they're known for. Their Caesar, it's really good.
Yeah, because I'm kind of getting theirs was different. Theirs was so good. I'm getting a little tired of like the table side stuff that people do, where it's like this whole show and song and dance. And a lot of times the table side stuff isn't as good as they make it out to be. Guac usually hits all the time, but that was a really good Caesar.
I was a little disappointed in the sense that like Armando was a really nice guy, but I wanted the 30-year veteran doing just for the experience. And I saw him doing the flambe, so he was in the house. I saw him in the background.
He was.
That guy, if you talk to people that know Golden, the years of his service at that place, everybody you talk to, it goes up 5 years. He's been doing it for 30. He's been doing it for 35, 40, 45, 50 years. He's been slinging Caesar salads. That's his only job, table side. We must have met, like, there was like 8 different people that came to the table to serve. We got introduced.
Service.
These people, I mean, the service was fountain service. It was unbelievable. It was really, really good.
By the way, they said he had done, Armando said that this guy, I don't know what his name was, I forget, that he's got his own TikTok now that he does all this stuff. And apparently he's made like over 367,000 Caesar salads. How are they counting that? How are they keeping a running tally on that, Michael?
It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep a running 367,000.
I'm going to give a little special shout out to a side dish order that Joe made last night. It doesn't get enough love, and it's very underrated, and you don't see it everywhere. Creamed corn.
Oh,
creamed corn. I got to tell you, this creamed corn was unbelievable.
It was so good.
Joe, I'm glad you made that play. It's just not a common play to be made. I don't see it on menus that often. You'd be hard pressed to beat a really good creamed corn. It's a great side.
If I ever see it, Bob, where I get all the time is Lewis Steakhouse. They have it, and I always get it. And I used to be like cream spinach was my thing. Like I really liked it. I think now if you give me a creamed vegetable, I'm taking the corn every time if it's at my disposal. It's an easy play. And what I like about it is you have the creamy texture, but then the niblets have a bite to them. So the spinach, Mikey, if you do the cream with the spinach texture, it's kind of just mushy. If you do the niblet with the creamed aspect, you get a little bite texture with the creaminess of the corn.
Two sides. Yeah, the cream corn and the twice baked potato or something that you don't see often.
I didn't try the baked potato.
Oh,
twice baked potato.
That was a hit, man.
I didn't try it. I was too full.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Well, they said they were like, you have to get the twice baked potato. They're known for that. Shout out to twice baked potato, because that is something really different too. That's really, really good.
I'll tell you something I've never seen before. This was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Perez sitting down at the table. Okay, we go to order. He doesn't like the stuff that we have. He orders chicken parm at the steakhouse, which is fine. I bet the chicken parm is actually really good.
Yeah, it's probably
revokes the chicken parm. He brings it back, and then decides not to eat.
He asked what pasta it was served with, and the server didn't be like, "Oh, we could do pasta." Like they're gonna do stuff the way they do it there. They're not gonna make exceptions. They're not gonna do any substitute. So the server just blatantly said, "We don't do it with pasta."
Yeah,
like it comes with it, and I think Perez was
no pasta. He was out. Yeah,
he took out the whole order.
Yeah,
I think Perez wanted to do Perez's new thing now. What he does the chicken parm with the spaghetti, and then he'll add the meatballs, and he does a spaghetti meatball chicken parm.
Yeah.
But when the spaghetti was out, Stewie was like, he didn't know, like his brain couldn't process it. It was like he didn't know what else to do. So he just looked at him. He's like, "Nah, you can cancel the whole chicken parm," which was and then he just sat there while we ate the whole time. I felt terrible.
I know. I mean, he had like a meatball, but yeah, to take away the order and then not fire it, and then he just decided that he just wasn't going to eat was one of the wilder plays.
And then today when we were at NASCAR, we just got back from the NASCAR, South Point 400 in Vegas at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Shout out NASCAR. They treated us so well, NASCAR, as they always do. And they brought us up after we stopped in pit row and everything, and Bob will get into that. But they brought us up to the like a suite where there was a food spread, and Perez got double banged again because the spread was not like I was expecting, like sliders, chicken tenders, hot dogs. It was like sliced London broil,
which you do not expect at NASCAR. With all due respect to NASCAR,
sea bass, chicken, and Perez was just like there was nothing. He got banged twice. He was looking forward to eating, and there was nothing there, nothing for him.
He said to me when we were going in, he's like, "Should we grab dinner?" I was like, "Now?" He's like, well, soon. I was like, "Yo, it's 3:00," and then I realized he hasn't ate anything since last night.
Yeah,
he didn't eat last night.
No,
he ate the meatballs. He had the meatballs. He had
meatballs.
Really good bread. Really good bread.
Yeah, he loves a good batch of bread, man.
Who doesn't?
It's like feeding a child, man. Make sure he's got bread and some meatballs.
Unbelievable.
Wild that palate. Makes me appreciate my palate. I mean, FP, he lives with it. He's fine with it. He doesn't,
Yeah, he
but it
don't.
makes me appreciate wanting everything and trying everything. There's really not a whole lot I wouldn't do.
If somebody said to you, Bob, that they were going to give you $5 million, that's actually, you're going to say, $5 million, but for 3 years you have no taste buds, so you
Oh.
can't taste any food.
It's a great question.
Would you take that? Like 3 years of just you
Yes.
cannot taste.
Yes. Yes, I would.
Michael,
I know you're
can you
asking
just
Bob,
say-
but I'm just telling you, I would.
I think Bob would have to think long and hard for 3 years. Basically, you're not doing dinners because you can't even go for a drink. You can't taste fucking drink.
Tell you what, Bob, not only do you get the 5 million, you could get yourself into tremendous shape without
Yeah, you're right.
Washboard abs.
you could eat kale and salmon every fucking night and you wouldn't know the difference.
I probably wouldn't
Yeah,
eat.
you know what? It's like, would I go to prison for 3 years? And I don't think I would for 5 million.
You're equating going to prison, not having taste buds.
Well, maybe not to prison, but that takes off.
That's a harsh
big,
contrast.
Yeah, but that takes off a big thing in my life. I mean, I love food. I live for food. You know what I mean? It's such a big thing for me. You know what I mean?
Feed Bob movement would be dead for 3 years. That's a problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be tough. No,
Yeah.
no Bobby Bagels, no Bobby Caesars.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bob that we know and love would have ceased to exist.
Yes.
True. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just,
What is the longest that you would go to prison for? Like, if you could. Like, how long do you think you could handle? Like, you was talking about going to prison. Like, how long
I tell you, man,
do you think you could last?
I'd
Like
be
a year sentence?
I'd be a city.
Are we talking at like a maximum security prison? Or are we talking
Yeah,
like
like he's convicted, like he's convicted of like some, I don't know. By the way, Bob would never commit a felony.
don't
but if
even
he
say a
did,
crime because it's not good. Don't even say it.
I'm just painting a picture because we
Oh,
brought
you're
up
gonna
prison
tell him
and
what
I'm-
crime I would commit?
No, I don't want him to say like
Oh.
killed somebody. Like
I
don't
know, no, but I'm saying, say something happened, he had to go do like a sentence. Like,
Yeah.
what's the longest term you could do for like you're gonna get out, but like say a year? Could you last a year?
No, I think I'd be a sitting duck. I mean, I think I'd come out of there.
I think you would do very poorly, Bob.
Oh, I'll be the first to tell you. I think I'd do terribly. I really would. I think Mikey would hold his own because people would be kind of afraid to fuck with him. I think Cutsy would run himself into trouble because Cutsy wouldn't respect the hierarchy. Like,
No,
if a guy told
I'd
him,
end
like,
up killed.
yeah, he like
No.
went like, if a guy told him to get in the bottom bunk or the top bunk, Cutsy would be like, but I want the bottom bunk. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't respect the hierarchy.
What's the thread count on these sheets?
Yeah,
This is not Egyptian cotton.
I think I would get killed. I don't know. I like, obviously Bob made a joke. I don't think it would be to that extent, but I think with people of that magnitude, you have to treat them differently. It's not the same as normal people. And sometimes I'm a little brash, so that could end up really banging me, so to speak.
Your Cutsy's thesaurus is just on fire today, man.
Yeah, it's
This
all
guy's
wrong.
pulling adjectives out of his ass
Yeah,
today. and it's
NASCAR.
unbelievable.
Look, NASCAR brought it out of him. I
Yeah.
mean, plain and
Talk to him
simple.
about NASCAR, Bobby. Tell him about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought it was a blast. Honestly, we didn't really know what to expect. You
That's
know what I
correct.
mean? We got robbed with Daytona. We didn't really know what to expect going into it. I thought it was a Paul Swan who's on the pit crew for Austin Dillon, taking us under his wing. I thought was awesome. And the thing that blew me away, as it might not seem like much, but watching it, first off, the sound just rumbles throughout your entire body. We were on the track, I guess you could say. Watching them do these pit stops is fascinating, how quick they get that car in and out.
The level of noise, and everyone was saying, like, Perez is like, yeah, you're gonna need earbuds, dog. And I was like, all right, it's gonna be loud. It's loud to the point where we were standing right on pit road, right behind, the pit crews. It was so loud that it reverberates in your chest when those cars pass. It's so loud, like your body shakes. It's truly an outer body experience. I'm telling you, live NASCAR is really, really fun. To be there live and to have that experience is really different and really fun. And yeah, the way those pit crews operate is like a well-oiled, no pun intended, a well-oiled. It's remarkable. It's actually remarkable.
Yeah, by the way, you and Swan talking Peloton numbers right out of the gate, like the JJ Watt Peloton numbers. That was one of my favorite moments on the show when that whole Peloton thing went down.
I mean,
It was
Bob,
one
you
of the
just
funniest
enjoyed it
things.
because he waxed Mikey's ass.
It was
I mean,
hysterical. Well, no, I mean the whole build up.
Joe, you keep saying that, and I'm going to disagree with you, man. Like
it wasn't even close, Michael.
It was a little bit closer than the eye tells you. You look at the metrics. We could have a metric breakdown of the ride. It wasn't.
I'm sure someone will send us the recap because we have like very dedicated listeners. Like someone would dig it up.
Listen,
I tend to recall
Brilliantly Dumb Show tracker would be all over that.
The bottom line is this: there's an open challenge to JJ and TJ Watt from myself and Paul Swan.
Whoa, Mikey, Mikey.
Mikey.
JJ, both friends of the program, by the way, will see that, and you don't want that smoke.
I do.
Mikey,
Michael, they're gonna run you to the ground.
You know what, Joe? To be the best, you got to beat the best, and you got to compete, and you got to try. You can't just lay down. It's life.
We saw you fail already in this challenge.
What?
We saw you fail in this challenge already.
No, it's me and Swan against the Watt brothers.
But the Watt brothers they do ads for Peloton, but it's real. Swan was saying the Watt brothers beat Swan.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
So God, you guys are going to get. Me and Swan
need a little time to train and get prepared, but I think we put up a fight.
I would, maybe you guys mix up the teams. I think would be a blast. I really think JJ would do it.
I'll go with JJ, and I really want to be with Swan though. That would be team Brilliantly Dumb. Would be me and Swan.
Well, that'd be cool. Crushed.
Joe, your lack of faith is so fucking disgusting.
Mikey, it's not lack of faith. No, I'm just going based on.
It really is, Joe. It really is. You just, what do you want to lay down? You don't believe in an underdog story?
I want you to do well, but Michael, you just, like, I just finished saying you got destroyed.
I'm in better shape now. I'm in better shape.
Not after that golden steer dinner.
Wow.
This guy had a king crab leg the size of his
by the way,
torso, Bob.
You forced me to eat that crab leg. You forced
Michael, that would have been one of the most
picked
wasteful things we've ever done. If that one king crab leg had to be worth like $40.
Why does that responsibility fall back on me? Why didn't you and Bob eat it?
Because you have said many times you can eat more than anyone. I know your love for crab.
You're a professional competitive eater.
No. But I'm a top amateur eater.
Yes, but so
I'm not professional because I don't get paid to do it.
Of course, but it seemed appropriate that you would be the guy who'd be able to like kind of go past the precipice and like consume that monstrosity of a king crab leg.
This guy with the adjectives today is just,
Mikey,
the crab leg was delicious.
It was. Would you trust your skills?
Go ahead.
Would you trust your skills more on eating or the Peloton? I think I know the answer.
Eating. Yeah, eating.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen levels of success with Mikey in the challenges where we haven't seen in the Peloton.
Get the fuck out of here, man. My numbers speak for themselves. I was a top 10% rider in the world, dog. Top 10%.
What do you mean top 10% in the world?
Yeah, now you got a bad memory too sometimes. I was a top 10% rider. Bob remembers. Right, Bob?
Tell him, Bob. Tell him, Bob.
I always remember. And look, I would not have been able to do what Mikey was doing. I'll be the first to tell you, but I'll just never forget watching that live and Swan was going. And I kept thinking Mikey was gearing. It's like a horse race. There's a lot of horses that they don't come out of. Yeah. And that's a real thing. I kept thinking that, he's going to turn it on until I realized it was the same pace. But at the same time, Swan's a freak.
So well, yeah. Listen, the guy's a Hall of Fame Division I collegiate athlete, dude.
100%.
Yes.
Hall of Fame.
We told you that today.
He's a Bowling Green Hall of Famer.
I didn't know
Yeah.
he made the Hall of Fame. That's impressive. I did see him doing high knees and like lunges before
Yeah.
going into the pit today, which was
Yeah.
no, I didn't see anyone else doing that.
He is Paul Swan
He's
is
built
he's a
different, bro.
fucking maniac, bro. I
Yeah,
love
you
it. I
know what's
love
funny?
it.
It's when that car is coming, they get geared up and ready to go. But when they have to wait like another 30, 40 laps, it's kind of like a bullpen. You know how in the bullpen you just kind of fuck around, you're on your phones and whatnot. When they're not ready for that car, they're doing all like they're on their phones, they're fucking around because like they don't
Yeah.
have to be ready till a certain lap comes around. But I can tell you this right now, you could always stay ready with the fine folks over at AG1. The Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by AG1. You see me drinking the green stuff a lot of times on our morning shows to start the day. AG1 is constantly putting their formula to the test, trusted by experts and medical professionals, and is backed up by multiple research study. 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. Put one scoop in it, mix in with water, whatever you please. You cannot go wrong. If there's one product I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why I've partnered with them for so long. Starting your journey with AG1 is a win. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/dumb. That's drinkag1.com/dumb. Check it out. And another ad read, and we'll keep the ball rolling.
Well, if you watch the Brilliant Dumb podcast, you want to better yourself. And I'll tell you another way you can better yourself is by using BetterHelp, the official sponsor of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. BetterHelp is new, it's innovative, it's there for you. It's entirely online. If you're thinking about using it, it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule, which is, listen, that's the difficulty of doing anything nowadays with people's schedules. This makes it easy. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to go ahead and use BetterHelp, then visit betterhelp.com/BDS today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BDS. Help us help you. BetterHelp.
Really nice, Joey D. Let's get a nice
Yeah.
warm round. Very nice. Very nice. Very smooth. Very smooth. Mikey V is going to have one coming up later as well. I think we mix around the ad reads a little bit. I think we throw it around a little bit, get some different voices. And I think people are sick and tired of me firing in the ad read. So I think we bring the boys into that as well. But without further ado, our buy or sell segment of the show coming in hot. Let's start off Mikey V. Mikey V, you want us to kick it off, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy. Again, I was gonna talk about it in the beginning, but I wanted to save it for my buy. The way these bands do concerts these days, okay? I think a lot of bands could take note from the way the Eagles approach this concert. I'm going to tell you why. There's nothing worse, and I'm sorry, and people may jump me in the comments on this. When you're an established band like the Eagles or Pearl Jam or some of these bands that are still touring that have been popular for a very long time, if you just released an album like a year ago or recently and nobody fucking knows it really, just play the hits. The Eagles did nothing but play hits after hits after hits. Nobody want. I just don't. I don't care about. I'm sorry. I don't care about the new stuff. I just don't. And maybe that's just me. But if I'm paying a decent amount of money to go see a band that's a well-established band, just give me the hits, dog. The problem is a lot of these bands don't have the hits to give you. So they got to.
Well, that is the problem. There's a lot of artists who have maybe 1 or 2 hits. So you
Right.
can't
They got to
just do
fill
the
it with
hits.
a lot of fluff. I don't want the fluff. I think the fluff was cut out. I think that's a good model for bands to
But what if you're a new
mimic.
band? What if you're a new band and you only have 3 hits? I mean, you can't do an entire concert, Michael, with 3 hits.
Well, you're not going to play a huge venue if you're new and you only got a hit or 2, I don't think. But maybe you will. I don't
never
know. I don't want the fluff. I just don't want it. Like, I wanted to go see Pearl Jam really badly. It was like a bucket list thing for me. And then as I'm following them on their Instagram page, they put out the set list that they play every night. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, am I really going to spend this much money to go see? And half the songs are from the new album and I don't want to fucking hear them. The answer is no. The answer is no. I just don't want to sit there and only hear 4 songs that I really love. And they have a ton of hits.
They do.
I just, cut the fluff out. Give the people what they want. The people want to hear the bangers. And there's always those people, like the diehards that'll break balls about that. But just play us the good stuff. You could play some deep tracks, but like there's still deep tracks that people are familiar with to a degree. I'm just saying, I thought the format and the way they did it. When you open, the Eagles opened with Hotel California. When you open with
That was
probably your
crazy.
most popular song, that's a statement. You're making a statement saying, you know what? We could give you our best right now because we're just going to keep it fucking coming. We're going to keep firing.
I was shocked that they
did.
started out with that song.
I loved it. I thought it was an incredible play. I wasn't expecting it. I thought for sure that would be encore. Last song would be Hotel California for sure. I thought they were going to open with Seven Bridges Road, which is what they opened with when I saw them last year. Opening with Hotel California, very bold. But in general, the buy is these bands give the people what they want. Play the songs that people want to hear. I'm sorry. I know people are such snobs when it comes to music. They're going to get on me in the comments about this. You could bring it on. I don't care.
Well, Michael, you don't know. I mean, Mike, you don't know if they're going to come at you.
I think people who are snobbish about music, they're like, oh, well, I just think people are there's some that are very snobbish about, they want to hear, they'll break balls about that.
Look,
I think they will.
That Brilliantly Dumb Show comment section can be a very hostile comment
very
section.
much.
No question about it. But I do, like, you could see the comments. There's some comments where people are just trying to just be an assholes. But then there's more the majority. Sometimes they'll rip you, but you could tell they're diehard fans. Like they've been here for a while. Like there's a lot of names I'll recognize in the comment section that I'm okay. I'm more okay with it because they're diehards and they're passionate. But yeah, then you got some people that just trying to just stir the pot. But I do love that comment section because you never know what they're.
I say you could comment all you want, but I'm still buying it. That's what I believe. I think give the people what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that, like, every time I've gone to see Billy Joel, he knows that that's the case. Like, he feels the need that he has to do at least like one new song to promote. But before he does the song, he'll almost like, in a way, like apologize and say, "Don't worry, we're gonna get the hits." You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a weird thing for them because then at the same time too, I know they want to probably promote it. But yes, I do agree, right? And the Eagles didn't fuck around. At the same time, I don't think the Eagles are coming out with many new songs.
Oh, what? I wouldn't. They don't. No need.
Yeah. Maybe that, like, we don't need to change anything up. You know what I mean? Maybe we're doing things so right.
I don't think we need to be compared to the Eagles.
No, I mean, but maybe we don't, not even just necessarily the Eagles. Maybe we're doing things right.
That elusive live Brilliantly Dumb show could be at the Sphere. We don't know. We're hoping.
Remember, I turned to you guys. I was like, imagine if we just do a live show. We don't even know if we could sell out Luna's Wood Fire Tavern.
Yeah, we sure know.
I tell you what, we better have some pretty damn fucking good visuals if we're doing the Sphere, because there's going to be only one small section filled, and that's it. We got to make those people feel like they're in outer space.
Let me tell you something, dude. I could give the people at the Sphere just the camera roll to run through while the show's going. I could have them covered as far as that goes.
Yeah, Bob's got a vault.
Guy would just have pictures of me everywhere.
Yeah. I sniped Mikey real nice last night.
Oh, Bob.
All right. Joey D, buy or sell?
I didn't know Mikey was going to do something on concerts and music, but I'm not going to change mine because mine is revolving that too. It's different though. And this one I'm going to get probably destroyed for, but I don't care because to me, it's just so ridiculous. And it's like, it's so not necessary. I am selling encores. I'm going to be honest with you right now. The gig is Michael. The gig is up. Everybody knows
the jig, not the gig.
The jig is up.
What did he say?
He said the gig is up. I don't have my buzzer. With me. I didn't bring the buzzer.
Good, Joe. I want to hear this. Because I actually think where he's going does have something.
It's
Go ahead.
so played out. I mean, maybe at some point years ago, a band was like, "Hey, you know what? We're going to leave the set. We're going to end the show, but people are going to think it's going to be done. As they start to leave, we're going to come back out and play another song." That probably blew everyone's minds. And then all of a sudden, everybody started doing that. There is not one person in that entire stadium when that band leaves to go off set that thinks the show is done. It's like a game of charades and everybody knows what we're playing. Why not just stay and play the last few songs instead of going, making this whole thing? People are putting lighters out and do that. Then they come back out and then they do 2 songs and then they leave again. Like, well, it's so ridiculous. There's no need for it, man.
I mean, at first to hear him selling encores sounded wild, but when he does explain it, I mean, it does make sense in the sense of even when they went back, we knew that they're coming out. Like the encore used to be like the surprise of one more song.
There's no surprise anymore. Everybody knows what they're getting. Now, I tell you this, if I was a band, I would do an encore, but just never show back up. I would just leave.
Well, that wouldn't be an encore.
I would do the reverse encore where I would just leave the set and people would be sitting there and I'd be, the show's over.
It's not a reverse encore either. It's just you're ending the show. That's the end.
That's what I'm saying. I would make, I'd mix it up on them. So then at some tours, you do an encore, but you wouldn't other times. So you'd keep people guessing.
I think Joey D would, if he was a musician, he'd be loving the crowd so much that he would just do like 20 songs and like go way past the time that he was allotted to go. Like
I try to give people what they want, Bob.
He's just doing like covers of like Queen and shit up there, just like ripping songs. Yeah, I mean, look, again though, it sounded so ridiculous. I do agree. When they were going out, you know that they're coming back.
There's not one person in that entire stadium that thinks, oh, okay, we should get the kids ready, honey. Let's go. Show's over.
Yeah,
like it's such a weird like play, and everybody's like putting their lighters up and their flashlights on their phone, like to try to like allure these guys to come back on when they know they're coming back.
Yeah. You ever see like
the process is ridiculous
at baseball games or like sporting events or concerts or stuff like that? Sometimes you want to stand up, but you feel so weird standing up because you don't know if people behind you are sitting down or whatnot. You get into like a very weird, like they got a standing O, but nobody behind us stood. So I didn't want to stand and then block their view. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually loved the fact that everyone just stayed in their seat during the concert.
Me too.
That venue's different. Like that's not a normal concert. Like nobody wants you to stand because they want to be able to see the visuals. Like the visuals makes the show. So like I actually thought it was great how everyone just stayed in their seat. And really, I didn't see many people, like we talked about in the beginning, getting up to get drinks or anything. People were pretty much just, once they sat, that was it.
Yeah, I was afraid. Well, like Joe said, that guy, that got up, you get up, you really kind of make a scene to where I was a little afraid as well. But
if he had to go to the bathroom or something, I feel bad because then it is what it is. But I don't think, because when he came back, he had a fresh beverage. So unless he went to the bathroom and then on the way back said, hey, there's no one at the concession, which would have been a heady play. But I don't think that was, I think the whole purpose of him getting up was to get that beverage, which you're putting everybody else at an inconvenience at that point. And it's just like, I don't know. You almost have to apologize to everyone that you walk by because you're impeding their experience.
One thing we know about Joey D, Bob, doesn't like to be inconvenienced.
No. Who does?
No.
Tell me one person you met, Michael, who likes to be inconvenienced.
Do you remember?
Not a single one. Not a single one.
There you go. So I'm in the norm.
You see, Mikey? See, you remember when one of the greatest sagas? I was saying that you were right. I was saying, you answered your question.
Oh, I got you.
I mean, I'm agreeing with the guy.
I thought it was some inside joke. There's a lot of inside jokes
sometimes.
Man,
come on, Joe. I was saying I was agreeing with you.
I don't say nothing I wouldn't say to your face, Joseph.
Remember the guy who was going who was going during the Yankee game that Joe was getting so annoyed with that he blasted on the pod from the alley
club? Don't bring this up again, Bob.
Somebody bladder. Buddy
Coop. World's smallest bladder. And he's a great guy.
Great guy. But
great guy. One of the best.
Guys gotta have praise for freaking bladder. I felt bad for him. He's a really nice guy. I don't want to slander him.
Okay. Well, don't.
Okay. I didn't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Bob did bring it up.
Well, sure. I mean, look, he did go back to the bathroom a lot. It was a very funny saga when that happened.
Yeah, it was.
All right, guys, being your most comfortable self this fall starts from the waist down. Whether you're gearing up for the weekend spent on the couch watching endless hours of football or getting back into your gym routine, comfort is always king. That's why this fall I'm upgrading my underwear drawer with MeUndies. That's right. MeUndies has something for every guy this fall. Their micro modal fabric is breathable and comfortable, especially the ball cat. If you never thought you needed a special pouch for your parts, I'm telling you right now, take the hundreds of five-star reviews as your sign that this could be your new favorite boxer brief. There's a style for everyone. MeUndies has a cut for every guy's butt. Over 10 different styles, ranging from boxer briefs to jock straps to our special pouch underwear called Ball Caddy, like I mentioned before, that keeps you from bat winging ever again. These cuts come in over 100 different colors and prints, ranging from black to all over dinosaurs. Who doesn't love a fun print? I know I do. Be your most comfortable self this fall with MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/dumb. That's MeUndies.com/dumb for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in.
And final Brilliant Dumb Show sponsor brought to you by the app called Kalshi. It's the first legal exchange where you can trade on any event. Kalshi just got approved to list markets to trade on the outcome of the election, making it the first legal place to trade on the election in 100 years. Kalshi has the markets on who will win the presidential election, who will control the House and Senate, who will win the swing states, and more. Kalshi has already facilitated over 1 billion in trades. The elections markets are now live to trade. You can sign up using my link, kalshi.com/dumb. And the first 500 traders who deposit $50 will get a free $20 credit. That's kalshi.com, KALSHI.com/dumb. Get going on that today. Buy or sell. We're recording this right now, Sunday, a sell who we did the biggest busts like last week, maybe 2 weeks. And Mikey, you might have put it in or even mentioned it, and he just got hurt. I know this is kind of fucked up, but Deshaun Watson, who just got hurt again today, to some degree, as much as it sucks that it happened, I feel like he's almost relieved that he doesn't have to keep going out there with how much of a laughing stock the Browns are now again, and how bad that he's been. He got hurt again, selling Deshaun Watson. Do you remember how good he was just years ago? Like, he was the so likable, by the way, too. And now he has all of these. He was, I mean, at the time, I remember
up until the massage controversy. Yes,
I did a top 5 on the Brilliant Dumb Show, and people might remember a long time ago I used to do the top 5s. I did top 5 people that you would want to let date your sister.
Oh, was he on that list?
He ended up. It was like Drew Brees.
That's worse than McGregor, Bob.
No, I mean,
That's worse than McGregor now.
Worse than McGregor
at the time before. When you
McGregor
said the McGregor thing, the McGregor was already a scumbag. When I said the Watson thing, none of that had came out. Nobody knew about that. Now, if I said the Watson thing after that happened, yes, did that?
I mean, if you said the Watson thing after that happened, you would have to be committed
to correct. That stuff had never came out about it. It was a bad list. And by the way, I think there's one more person on that list that should not have been on there. I got to go back to that, or I got to have Bone dig that up. But yeah, that didn't. But anyway, where I was going with it.
P. Diddy on his list.
Yeah, man, what a disaster that is. And when you look at the money that Cleveland had given him and the situation that they're in now, oh my God. I think maybe more. I mean, baseball's got some really bad ones too. Not to say basketball doesn't either, but football tends to have some really, really bad contracts.
What's worse, the Deshaun Watson one or the Daniel Jones one?
Maybe Watson, because maybe Jones is bad though too. That was
it's horrible. And by the way, when they did the Jones one, they basically they knew that they were throwing Saquon Barkley out. So if you add that to the equation.
No, that's really bad too. But the amount, the unprecedented amount of guaranteed money that they handed Watson is going to sink that franchise for quite some time. And it's not. I don't think Bob is definitely not selling Watson because he got hurt. I mean, but the fact that he got hurt and it looks like it's a season-ending Achilles injury, from what I understand, it looks like that, in combination with the money they sunk in him, makes that deal one of, if not the worst bust deals in the history of the NFL. It has to be number one now. I would think it has to be number one.
Yeah, it started out as a trade, right? Watson originally was traded from the Texans to the Browns, which will go down as one of, I mean, that trade didn't work out at all, but then to go ahead and sign them for as long as they did and as big as they did. I mean, that's going to set them, that's going to be like the Nets. You remember when the Nets had like, they made all these trades to get like Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and then they were screwed. And then they finally were doing better. And then they did the same shit when they got Kyrie, Durant, and all of them.
That was a nightmare.
James Harden.
Yeah, and they fucked it. They did the exact same thing where they went wrong.
History tends to repeat itself, Bob.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. All right. Without further ado, it's a fun top five. So we polled you guys last week, and everybody, we got so much top fives to where we really will be able to start bringing in some good fresh top fives. This week's top fives are going to be top 5 people, dead or alive, that you would like to get a beer with. So top 5 people, dead or alive, that you would like to sit down and grab a beer with. I won last week. Who came in second? Mikey V came in second. Did. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think, let me look at my list. I don't think like going first or whatever like matters too much. I will go first though. I'll go first. Mikey, what do you want?
I'm actually going to just go second.
Yeah. Cutsy. Oh, Cutsy's going to be third on the back end.
Okay.
All right. My first of all, give me Michael Jordan.
I'm going to go Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
Wow, that was fast. I'll go Elvis Presley. And then give me John Daly.
I'm going to go Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, Schwarzenegger out. Give me Freddie Mercury. And give me Charles Barkley.
Give me Mike Tyson.
Oh, I didn't. You know, that's not a bad one. That's Mikey V and Mike Tyson posted up at the dinner table. I would like to see that.
I think here. Give me Steve Jobs.
I like that.
And give me Jesus.
I mean, that's gonna have to go to the committee.
What do you mean?
That's gonna have to go to the committee.
Jesus was an actual person, Bob.
Joe, we just have to bring it to the committee. Mikey, what would you like to select?
Listen, I think it's an outrageous thing to do in this scenario? Yes. But is Joe one of the most outrageous people I know? Also, yes. I am not going to be the one to say that Jesus was not a person.
That's my problem.
I am not going to be that guy.
That's my problem.
I am a believer in Christ.
I like to break bread and drink beer.
I'm going to allow it to play, Bob, because I'm going to allow it to play.
By the way, yeah, I mean, if you could say that the committee's got no backbone, so be it.
Yeah.
We're not getting.
I'm not saying anything blasphemous. I'm allowed
to.
Joe, we're not saying you are. Why are you getting so upset? We're not saying you are.
I just don't know why it's even. Yeah, no,
it's going through the committee. We said yes.
By the way, Jesus has made an appearance on a top 5 list before, and it was done by Michael. May I add?
Did he not? But did he not just approve?
I know, but I'm saying it was never questioned when Michael brought Jesus to the forefront.
We're taking it to the committee, and the committee approved, and you're good to go. The committee approved it.
Okay. All right, so Joe got Jobs and Jesus.
Jesus. I mean, it might win him the list.
I'm going to take Chuck Norris.
I didn't see that coming. Give me Give me John Lennon. And give me Kobe Bryant.
Give me Albert Einstein.
Okay.
I'm the last one.
Last one.
If you are.
Give me Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Al
By the
Capone
way-
breaking bread with Jesus Christ. That'll be something to see.
We bring everyone together, Michael.
Sure.
It's one big community.
I'd be curious to talk to Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, it'd be a
I
good
don't
one.
think we
You
did.
don't, I mean, getting an insight into like the mind of someone like Al Capone which by the way, during Prohibition, you couldn't drink a beer because it wasn't allowed. He would be the only guy who'd allow that to happen. So,
You're right.
you know,
That's right.
All right, Mikey V, why don't you rattle those off?
Bob's list. His Airness, Michael Jordan, Freddie Mercury, lead man of Queen, Charles Barkley, Sir Charles Barkley, John Lennon of the Beatles, the late great John Lennon, and finally the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. I had chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mike Tyson, Chuck Norris, Albert Einstein. Cutsy has Elvis Presley, John Daly, Steve Jobs, Jesus Christ, and Al Capone.
what a list.
If you don't say so yourself.
I just have to say it's some polarizing figures that have.
It's polarizing.
It sure is. It sure is. All right, folks. That does it. Another edition of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.